What you're about to see will change how you watch Marvel forever. Take the Endgame portal scene. Every MCU hero bursts out together to charge Thanos' army in the biggest superhero moment in movie history. On set, it was just a bunch of people running across an empty field toward absolutely nothing. The compound ruins, the alien army, and the digital warriors were all built afterward by Weta FX. Honestly though, Thanos looked way shorter in person than I expected. In Infinity War, Iron Man, Strange, Spider-Man, and the Guardians take on Thanos on planet Titan. Tony's nanotech armor flies, Spidey shoots out iron spider legs, and they all swarm the Mad Titan together. Without effects, Titan doesn't exist, the suits aren't there. Weta FX rebuilt the entire planet and remade both suits in full CG. Tony's fighting for his life, really. He's punching a man in pajamas. In Civil War, two Avengers teams crash into each other at a German airport in Marvel's biggest team brawl ever. Spider-Man swings, Giant Man stomps, without effects. Most of the background is empty, Giant Man doesn't exist, and Spidey's web swinging is all digital. ILM filled the airport with CG superheroes and hundreds of digital assets. The wildest superhero fight ever was basically a half-empty airport with very tired actors running around. In Doctor Strange, the city folds in on itself, buildings rotate sideways, and reality bends like a Rubik's Cube as the sorcerers fight through impossible geometry. Without effects, the actors are just running across normal sets. Every twisting street and broken physics rule gets slapped on later. Luma Pictures and Framestore handled the London, Cathedral, and Dark Dimension visuals. Strange bends reality with magic. The real magic happens at a VFX artist's desk. In No Way Home, Spider-Man fights Doc Ock on the freeway as cars fly through the air. The bridge collapses, and mechanical tentacles strike from every angle. Without effects, Doc Ock's arms aren't there. The bridge is fine, and half the cars are digital. Digital Domain handled the freeway sequence, the CG Doc Ock, and the New York environment. Alfred Molina looks terrifying with those robot arms on shoot day. The arms basically didn't exist. In Far From Home, Peter falls into Mysterio's illusion as reality melts into zombie Iron Man and crumbling impossible environments. Without effects, the whole thing is empty sets, green screen, and pure digital nightmare imagery. Framestore designed and built the Illusion Battle, where Mysterio weaponizes Peter's deepest fears. Traumatic for Peter for the VFX team, it was basically a digital fever dream playground. In Shang-Chi, the hero fights assassins on a moving San Francisco bus as glass shatters and passengers fly through the air. The stunts are real, but takes were stitched together with face replacements, digital doubles, and environment fixes added afterward. Marvel VFX supervisor Christopher Townsend confirmed performances were blended throughout. What looks like one clean brawl is really stunt work and digital trickery glued together. In Ragnarok, Thor faces his cousin Hulk inside Sakaar's gladiator arena while the Grandmaster cheers and a massive crowd loses its mind. Problem is, Hulk isn't there. The actors throw punches at empty air or face stunt guys in mocap suits. Framestore worked on 459 heavy VFX shots and several fully CG characters in the third act. Thor's brawling, a giant green monster Chris Hemsworth, was mostly fighting absolutely nothing. In Guardians Volume 2's opening, Baby Groot dances to music while the rest of the team fights a giant interdimensional monster behind him. Baby Groot is fully animated, his moves were created with reference footage and dropped into the live-action plates after. In Black Panther, T'Challa leaps across speeding cars through the streets of Busan in one of the MCU's most ambitious chase sequences. Cars, street extensions, certain crowd members, buildings, and destruction effects are all CG. Luma Pictures released a VFX breakdown showing CGI cars, intersections, buildings, and even people throughout. It looks like a wild chase through Korea. Half of Busan is inside a computer. In Black Widow's finale, the floating Red Room collapses out of the sky while Natasha and Yelena fight Dreykov's assassins through falling wreckage. Without effects, the actors are on blue screen with wires, rigs, and wind machines. The sky, debris, and explosions are all digital. Digital Domain delivered around 320 VFX shots, including debris, simulations, and smoke. The only thing really falling was their trust in the wire system. In Captain Marvel, Carol fights a Skrull disguised as an old lady on an LA metro train, and the alien's real form gets revealed mid-fight. Without effects, the Skrull transformation, environment, shots, and action completions are all layered in. Digital Domain worked on over 125 shots, including Skrull transformations, the hangar escape, and the canyon chase. In Eternal's climax, the giant celestial Tiamut rises out of the earth, his enormous body breaking through the ocean and dwarfing entire continents. Without effects, no such giant exists on set. The scale, the oceans, the clouds, and the cosmic energy are all digital. Weta FX handled the third act battle, the digital doubles, the fully CG shots. The actors were just staring at empty space and using their imaginations. A quick break in the video to support my channel. Just liking the video, subscribing, and dropping a comment is enough. Enjoy the rest of the watch. In Ant-Man and the Wasp, cars shrink and grow mid-chase while Ant-Man turns into Giant Man, jumping between scales like a Hot Wheels box. Without effects, the scale changes, macro details, environment extensions, and Giant Man are all VFX. DNEG made characters and vehicles seamlessly switch between tiny, normal, and giant scales. The trick here isn't speed, it's scale. A regular car becomes an actual toy in seconds. In the Avengers climax, the team fights the Chitauri army and giant leviathans across New York, while a sky portal dumps aliens onto the city. Without effects, the city, the aliens, the portal, and most of the destruction are all digital. ILM produced 700 shots for the Avengers, including a fully digital, stunt double version of New York. They built New York in a computer just so they could blow it up again. In the original Iron Man, Tony Stark suits up in the first red and gold Mark III armor, one of the MCU's most iconic moments ever. Without effects, practical armor pieces and physical parts mounted on Robert Downey Jr. are blended with CGI suit transitions. Stan Winston's team built practical suits to seamlessly mix with the digital ones. What feels like the definitive suit-up is really half real metal and half computer. In Age of Ultron's climax, the entire city of Sokovia lifts into the sky while Ultron's robot army attacks and the heroes try to stop a planet-killing extinction event. Without effects, the floating city, the robots, the digital crowds, and the explosions are all VFX. ILM produced over 800 shots, working on the large action, Hulk, and environmental effects. Instead of launching an actual city, the VFX team just built one digitally. In Endgame's emotional climax, Tony uses the Infinity Stones to wipe Thanos and his army off the universe before saying, "I am Iron Man," and falling to his injuries. Without effects, Tony's suit, the glowing stones, the energy bursts, the dust effect, and the battlefield are all digital. Weta and ILM handled Thanos, Smart Hulk, and the final battle. One of the MCU's most emotional moments was, on set, a glove with no glowing stones. In Endgame, Thanos' ship bombards the Avengers Compound from orbit, and the entire headquarters collapses into smoking ruins. Without effects, no real compound exists at this point. The debris, the explosions, the dust, the smoke, and the destruction simulations are all generated inside a computer. Weta FX handled the final battle, set on the digital ruins of the compound. Marvel's HQ gets wiped out really, it was just digital debris. In No Way Home, Peter and Doctor Strange clash inside the mirror dimension as city blocks fold, geometry distorts, and the New York skyline twists into impossible shapes. Without effects, the actors' moves are real, but the environment, dimension shifts, spell effects, and a lot of Spider-Man's moves are digital. Framestore worked on around 250 shots, handling complex environments and FX. Strange bends physics, the VFX team turned math into an action scene. In Multiverse of Madness, Strange and America Chavez tumble through dozens of alternate universes at full speed, each one with its own visual style and reality. Without effects, most of the actors were on green screen, while universe transitions, magic spells, and environments were built later. Framestore and ILM released big VFX breakdowns, with Framestore handling multiverse and action-heavy shots. Strange crosses, countless universes really, he just crossed green screen. In Quantumania, the Lang family drops into the quantum realm and meets bizarre creatures, alien architecture, and a whole underground universe ruled by Kang. Without effects, most of these locations don't physically exist. The creatures, backgrounds, cities, and atmospheres are all digital. MPC delivered over 800 shots with more than 1,000 artists on the film. The actors entered a strange new universe, really. They were lost in a giant green screen. In Vol 3, the team fights through a corridor of enemies to the Beastie Boys in what looks like one continuous owner shot. Without effects, it's real stunts, digital characters, blended shots, and hidden VFX transitions all stitched together. FX Guide reports the final shot was delivered by Weta FX, with VFX supervisor Guy Williams breaking down the illusion. It's really stunt choreography and perfectly hidden cuts pretending to be one take. In Iron Man 3, Tony's iconic Malibu cliffside mansion gets blown apart by a helicopter missile strike, collapsing into the ocean while Pepper fights to escape. Without effects, even the house isn't entirely real. The cliff, the destruction, the helicopters, and the collapse are mostly digital. Scanline built the Malibu mansion attack almost entirely as a photoreal CG sequence. We feel sad watching Tony's home die. It was really just an expensive 3D model. In the Avengers, the massive flying SHIELD helicarrier gets attacked. One of its engines explodes, and the airborne battleship has to fight just to stay in the air. Without effects, the ship's size, the clouds, the engine blast, the smoke, and the breakup effects are all added digitally. Weta worked on the engine explosion and Hawkeye's arrival, with simulations driving the particles and debris. In Love and Thunder, Thor battled Gore the God Butcher inside the creepy black and white shadow realm where light itself seems to die. Without effects, this isn't a color filter, special lighting rigs and moving lights were used during the actual shoot, then finished with VFX. Befores and afters reported a custom lighting rig was built for the sequence. This scene wasn't just made black and white, even the lights were designed that way. If you've watched this far, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications. See you in the next videos.